Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about whether you should be upgrading your gear now or if you should wait till next month. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So as many of you guys know already, we can enhance our weapons as well as our armors all the way to level 70 now, and by getting it to level 61, we actually unlock the 6th augment slot. So at the bare minimum, I highly recommend people to unlock their 6th augment slot for their armors as well as their weapons, because this additional augment slot is going to give you so much value for very minimum cost. I know it might seem very daunting to get all of the arms refiners to just limit break, and then you have to enhance, and the enhancement cost and all of the EXP needed seems like a very daunting task. However, I promise you, all of those golden Primm sword 2s are going to plummet in price after everyone's maxed out their weapons as well as maxed out their armor. The golden Primm armors aren't actually that expensive anymore because, to be honest, most people don't really care that much about the armors. As you can see, I only have mine at plus 61 because the only thing that I really wanted was the extra augment slot, and by getting it further after 61, all it does is it gives you one extra defense stat per level. That's it. So for the armors themselves, it's not that big of a deal. However, for the weapons, I highly encourage everyone to get their weapons to enhancement level 70. I know it might seem like, oh, you need so many golden Primm swords 2 in order to get your weapon all the way to plus 70. And for the average player, let's say that you have normal RNG, or maybe even if you have bad RNG, you're going to need about 100 golden Primm sword 2s in order to fully augment your katana from level 60 to level 70. So now that we have a figure of 100 golden Primm swords 2 as your goal in order to get your weapon to plus 70, how many hours will that take of farming? Well, on average, I get between 5 to 10 golden Primm swords 2 every single hour. So let's say worst case scenario, we get extremely unlucky and we only get 5 golden Primm swords per hour. That means we need to play a total of 20 hours over the course of this month in order to get our weapon to plus 70. The reason why I'm saying this month is because next month we are getting another seasonal event. With the introduction of the seasonal event, we're going to have a seasonal weapon. Is the seasonal weapon going to be better than your Neo A weapon at enhancement level 70? Probably not, but it's going to be better if you still have it at level 60. So it really depends on how much time you're willing to commit into the game. If you can easily dump in 20 hours of farming within this month, then it's perfectly fine, and then you should definitely try to get your weapons to plus 70. If you can't invest that much time, just get your weapons to plus 61 at the bare minimum so that you unlock the 6th augment slot and put in an extra augment to increase your overall potency. However, the reason why I'm emphasizing so much on people need to upgrade now, upgrade is because of the new urgent quest. They didn't just put in a new rank for the urgent quest in Darkfall's Aegis as well as Darkfall Interception. They scaled the bosses up. They essentially almost doubled the HP of Darkfall's Aegis as well as Darkfall's Interception. On Darkfall's Interception, it's not that bad because even though the boss has a lot more HP, there's not as many DPS checks versus Darkfall's Aegis. While a lot of you guys have probably experienced it, but when you find a pug group for Darkfall's Aegis, or you just join the queue and just queue up with random people, most of the time, it's a very bad experience because you literally fail every single DPS check, the boss is just killing people left and right, you're doing no damage to the boss, and the urgent quest takes anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes to complete. And that is not a good experience, which is why I'm really trying to push to let you guys know that, hey, you guys should really get your gear to this bare minimum, which is plus 61 for all of your armors with 6 augment slots. Plus 61 with your weapon with all 6 augment slots. That is the very bare minimum that you should be aiming for. If you have the time, get your main weapon to enhancement level 70 because this attack power over here is going to help you a ton. As you can see over here, my battle power is now 3,800. Now, of course, I am an outlier. I play a lot of NGS, especially with the new 9-star rarity weapons now being in the wild. It's a very low chance. So I'm investing a lot of my time in NGS farming for a chance to get that 9-star rarity weapon. And in turn, I'm getting a ton of different resources as well as materials, which is why it was very easy for me to get my weapons to plus 70, because 100 Primm swords too, I've got like 200 of them already, because of how much time I've been spending in the high rank combat zones in Alio. So naturally I was able to obtain all of these resources through just raw farming. But now to talk about the flip side. Let's say that you don't have a lot of time to invest into the game, or you're simply just not interested, because 9-star rarity weapons that has a 0.0001% drop rate is just like the rugged weapons back in our Kavaris days. You don't care about it because you're like, listen Karo, I'm gonna invest 200 hours farming on this, I'm not gonna get the weapon, I'm just gonna get mad and frustrated, and I don't care, I don't want to do that. And that's totally understandable. You know, maybe you want to play something else. There's like Diablo 4, there's Street Fighter 6, there's the new Black Desert new region, or maybe the creative spaces is your cup of tea and that is the main content that you're enjoying and that you want to play. It's perfectly fine. You should not feel any FOMO at all. The reason I say this is because next month we are getting a seasonal event. With the seasonal event, you're going to get another seasonal weapon that's going to be better with whatever you have now. It's going to be better than your weapon. It's probably going to be better than your armors as well. So you don't need to worry about it. The seasonal event's going to kick in next month. You're going to switch all of your gear to the seasonal event stuff and you're going to be fine, okay? And then by following the trend of how Sega likes to recycle content, we're going to get a craftable weapon in August when we get the new co-op boss super hard mode, or whatever they're going to call it. There's an extremely high chance that there's going to be a craftable weapon that is going to be on par with the current 9-star weapons. They're not going to be as good as the current 9-star rarity weapons if you compare raw attack stat. However, I guarantee you that that weapon's going to be much more obtainable for the average player, where you probably need to farm like, you know, 500 of these Strugments or something, and you combine them together just like how we had to make our Kaiser weapons. If you guys remember, in Kavaris region, to make the Kaiser weapon, we had to collect like 200 of those Blizzardiums or something. That was like the main time gate. We're probably going to have an exact same replica of that. However, in the Alio region or in whatever region, they're going to do something similar to that again. But that's pretty much what I'm expecting to see in the next 2 months. So if you get the 9-star rarity weapons, congratulations, you're set for the next 2 to 3 months minimum, all right? And even after that, I don't think the new weapons are going to be able to compare with the current Tisha weapons until we get a new region. The reference I'm using here is because of the Rugged series. When the Rugged weapon series came out, they were viable for 6 months until the Steer region came out. Even when they introduced the Kaiser weapon, which was the new craftable weapon, it was not superior to the Rugged weapons. It was like a little bit of a downgrade of the Rugged weapons, but a lot more easier obtainable. So I think Sega's gonna do the exact same thing in the coming months. So in conclusion, the bare minimum that you should be aiming for is enhancement level 61 on your armors so that you unlock your 6 augment slots, 61 on your weapon so that you unlock the 6th augment slot as well. But if you can, please try to aim for enhancement level 70 on your weapon. It will cost you 100 golden Primm swords too, and on average that's going to take 20 hours to farm for. So if you could invest the 20 hours within this month, that's going to be great. It's going to be a very nice weapon. But if you can't invest the time, don't worry, next month there's going to be a seasonal event. You're going to use the seasonal weapon instead of your Neo A weapon, and you're going to be perfectly fine. Now, if you're really lucky and you get a Tisha weapon or the 9-star rarity weapon, you can safely invest into it, as it will be viable for at least the next 6 months and you don't need to worry about it. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!